grandmother was a third order
Franciscan, that's right.
A couple of things about St. Francis that maybe a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think of the birds and the nature and stuff, and he was all of that, but he was much more than that. Vladimir Lenin, on his deathbed, I guess you can consider him one of the fathers of communism.
Yeah, sure.
Right? He apparently said if he had 10 men like Francis of Assisi, he would have had the world. Now, I want to tell you another story about an Irish Franciscan priest who I love like a grandfather, Father Mike Quinlan. So Father Quinlan, as almost every Irish person I know, has that gift of wisdom, and nothing could upset him. So he called me Gabie, and I must have been ordained 3 or 4 years. And he was a retired priest at Seton Hall. He ultimately went back to, I guess it was Tralee in Ireland. Anyway, so I'm sitting with him and we're having a drink. He says, "Gabie, I noticed there's something bothering you. What is it?" Well, so when I was ordained a deacon, and that was the more important thing, because you become a member of the clergy, you take all of your obligations. The priesthood is like the cream, but the cherry on the cream or whatever. Yeah. So it wasn't a matter of making the commitment, and I enjoyed my deacon year, but as priesthood approached, I noticed I was getting very anxious, and I had never suffered an anxiety attack in my life. And Lord knows with that I should have. I finally realized, like after a year or so, one of the things that's really bothering me is I don't understand how God would call me to be a priest and not St. Francis, because St. Francis wasn't a priest. And that was weighing on my mind. I'm sure part of that was the devil. So I told Mike this, almost like a confessional thing. I said, "Mike, here's this. You're a Franciscan. Why was St. Francis not a priest?
Not a priest,
and I was.
Right. Yeah.
Why? I mean, here's the greatest guy, maybe after Babe Ruth, who ever walked on the earth."
After the babe?
That's right. Anyway. And why did God call me? And then he said, with the wisdom that only the Irish have, he says, "Gabie, if it was God's choice to make you a priest and not St. Francis, it was his choice, and he didn't have to consult with you. Now get me another scotch." And that's a true story. And it was almost a sacramental moment.
That's really beautiful. It is, yeah. Lifted that burden, right?
He was a great man. Great man.